Fridays with Steve. This week, we'll be talking about Teams rooms, one of our favorite subjects, but we're going to take a little bit of a different approach. We're going to look at accessories, add-ons, some of the things that really complete the room experience. You know, whether it's rooms or whether it's personal audio and video, I think many of us have reached a point that we're pretty advanced. We're pretty savvy, kind of patting ourselves on the back when it comes to audio and video. Very comfortable with it. And frankly, whether it's Teams or other platforms or Skype or FaceTime in our personal life, these technologies have come a long way. I'm using a combination of devices here at home that, are pretty advanced. They do some amazing stuff. And so I just wanted to take a little time, talk experiences, talk about some of our great partners and vendors that we work with, and some of the additional things we can bring into the experience. You can see several of them here floating in space when it comes to kind of completing that room experience. And I'll talk a little bit about the why, straight from Microsoft and from Apex's view, what the why looks like. And then we'll just we'll hop around. I leaned on some of our partners to provide me some content and some insight. I've got some personal experiences with this stuff. We've got pictures from the CEO at Infocom last week. So we kind of have a wide array of information and perspectives and content here in this Fridays with Steve to really kind of paint a picture. I think at the end, we'll bring it full circle and say, if you want to complete the picture for yourself, let us give you a hand, because we've done a lot of fun rooms, a lot of big projects, a lot of creative spaces, and really have some pretty good perspectives on the way to approach this stuff. And so Microsoft's been doing this for a while, not just pandemic induced, but because of the maturation of their technology, their multi-location nature. They've really been taking all of their physical spaces and making sure that they embrace customers that aren't in the room, or a mix, or employees scattered around the globe and partners scattered around the globe. And they've had a lot of success doing it. And historically, this entire space has been hard to reach. One of our great partners, Poly, is recently acquired by HP, and it's kind of like a full circle thing, right? HP and Cisco, back in the day, they'd be more than happy to do video conferencing rooms and bring that technology to your organization, but it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. So now HP has made that acquisition, and they're back in the market at the level to which the market has evolved, right? Which says, absolutely, we can do signature rooms, we can do fun stuff, but we can also do huddle rooms. We can do personal kinds of experiences that scale down. Those old Cisco and HP rooms really didn't scale down. And so Microsoft thinks about their hybrid vision sort of in these four buckets, right? See and be seen, video being such a key aspect of how we connect and how we build these interpersonal relationships. Thinking of my own team, we're always on video. Whatever qualms people have about how they look first thing in the morning, or the environment they're working in, we know how important it is to connect visually. We also know how distracting bad audio can be, right? I think we're down to one person in the organization, not on my team, who still loves to use their AirPods every once in a while. But for the most part, we've all moved on to really great audio devices, whether we're in room spaces or whether we're in personal spaces, ensuring that your audio is coming through loud and clear. We want to make sure that it's an immersive and inclusive experience. It's been kind of a funny evolution. I think initially, 9 people in a conference room, a faceless speakerphone in the middle with 2 people on it. Those 2 people had no shot. Right now, everybody's a first-class attendee in hybrid meetings. almost to the point where there's a bit of overcorrection, right? Where it's in some ways easier to be a virtual participant, right? You're using the digital tools. Apps are being brought into a Teams meeting. It's different than simply being in the room and being able to fight for attention. And so it's kind of an interesting change. And then that last one is the reason we have meetings is to collaborate and come to decisions, come to outcomes. And the advancements in this space are critical because they allow the actual work of meetings to get done. Again, in the real world, sometimes meetings are fun just to connect and see people and chit chat and do those kinds of things. At the end of the day, we're trying to accomplish something, and having the tools and platforms to do that hybrid is super, super critical. So one of the things I'm going to talk about today is some things about Teams panels. So this is sort of the generic view of this, right? They're super, super powerful and super, super cool, right? Reserving spaces, easily be able to see. You can see the green bar down the side. Is a room available? Is it occupied? We do a lot of these for customers. Some of them are arguably most proud of their hallways with a lineup of panels showing red and green, right? They've got fantastic technology in the room that enable great hybrid meetings. They love them some red and green panels. They're centrally manageable. They're secure. You can extend them with third-party apps. Most of the time, just enabling that scheduling and availability and the ability to identify rooms and their current state in an easy way more than provides the return on investment for a little bit of drywall screws and some PoE, right? It's an incredibly powerful device. And so they really can integrate into the room and provide an amazing experience, being able to check into the room, schedule it, and just be able to interact with the room in a seamless way. There's a long history in this space, actually. There were some devices, even going back more than a decade, that would interact with Exchange and do scheduling and using resource accounts and stuff like that. We've come a long ways since those days. And then, coordinating meetings. And so again, talking about some of these secondary devices, Surface hubs or devices from other vendors, being able to say, hey, we're going to collaborate on a whiteboard. We're going to do stuff together that is sort of independent of just being able to see and hear each other, right? And so this coordinated join and being able to have this be a participant in the meeting. If it's a device, with audio and video, come in kind of muted, come in kind of quiet, or as a second camera in the room, and provide this capability into the room itself, right? I think a lot of us are familiar with, the whiteboard function just within Teams meetings, and this is making it a better experience for all, including those people that are in the room. This is a little bit of where that dynamic has changed. Some of the people not in the room at times will have advantages. Intelligent speakers, and so being able to bring not just great audio in, but things like transcription and recognizing voices and doing some things that are very interesting from an audio perspective. I think there's a lot of attention being paid to artificial intelligence. We've talked about it on Fridays with Steve, and the ability for these devices to be tools, right? For that technology to be a tool for us to leverage. Note taking is a particular bugaboo of mine. I've got some funny stories that I'll probably uncork at some point in Fridays with Steve when they're a hair bit more important, more relevant. But I hated taking notes. It was just a painful experience. At the same time, accurate transcriptions and notes out of meetings, and now with Copilot, making them searchable, putting in milestones, doing automatic summaries, super powerful stuff. And then capacity notifications with team panels. So this is a really interesting space. And there's actually already been some teams rooms innovation in this space, like joining not via Bluetooth, but suggesting a room based on proximity, right? Oh, hey, I see that that Michael's laptop is in the room and he's joining a meeting. I will offer him this room system because I kind of think he's sitting in here. And so some of the vendors are coming with interesting technology about sensing how many people are in a room, capacity advisories, thinking about the room atmospheric health. Not kidding. I live in Minnesota, and so air quality has been something top of mind for about the last month, thanks to our Canadian neighbors. And so, doing that within your interior spaces is a whole new vector for innovation, and there's some cool stuff coming out in those spaces. And then just kind of a glimpse of, content capture, not on a digital whiteboard, but on a physical one, something IRL. And I'll talk about a specific device in this space that we bring to market with our partners at Logitech. And so I think this is a bit of the best of both worlds. I love drawing on whiteboards. I really miss it. I went so far as to over to my side here, I have a whiteboard mounted on the wall of my home. It didn't make the rest of the family necessarily happy. They think it's a bit dorky, but I just love whiteboards. And so now having the capability to work physically on a whiteboard, but capture and share it digitally, you can see on the laptop screen there. I was hoping it had a timeout for how many times it would play, but lesson learned. And you can see how it actually makes the person translucent, so you can see what they're writing, and then captures it digitally for all to participate and share. So let's talk about a few of our partners in this space. So this is some information from Logitech, from Logi, and some of the ways they approach these room spaces. And I'll just call out some different devices, and we'll kind of go through a few of these together. And so their tap device, this is the device sitting on the table typically, or mounted at maybe at the front of the room. Sometimes we do for customers. That is, join the meeting control, even sort of HDMI or wireless sharing into the meeting rather than joining the Teams meeting. Sometimes that's appropriate depending on the technology in the environment. And so this is their sort of on-desk in-room controller. So this was the device I alluded to earlier. This is a Logitech Scribe. And so this is a relatively low-cost device that you can take and retrofit a room with a whiteboard and turn it into a digital whiteboard. I'm surprised they don't show it here, but Scribes actually come with this really cool purple button that works wirelessly. You can kind of smack it up on the wall, and you press the purple button, and the Scribe turns on. And I think the verbiage on it says share or connect. And so it's kind of a neat way to invite people, maybe not even the most tech savvy people, to give it a shot, right? And so we use one of these in our own environment. We've implemented many of these for customers, simply as a way to take a room that has whiteboard capability in it and immediately make it something that is usable digitally and in hybrid meetings. They've also got a picture of their tap scheduler here. You can see it on the outside of the room, although this room doesn't seem to have any walls, so I'm not sure it counts as a room. But these tap schedulers and the Teams panels that we talked about generically, they're just fantastic devices. We've taken an approach, full transparency when we assess and build out, rooms for our customers. We really start with the scheduler and if appropriate, the Scribe as something that just you have to tell us why you don't want to do this, right? Or why this doesn't fit your needs, because I think there's a strong case for both in a whole bunch of situations. I promised you candid photos from Infocom last week. If you're listening to us live, our CEO actually snapped this picture of a Logitech Scribe mounted to a mount that can be placed on top of, rollaway whiteboards. And so this is, sort of doubling down on remote or retrofit capability when you think about it, because it just shows that you can take this Scribe device and even add it to those mobile whiteboards, not just mount it to a wall. So this one was new to us, hadn't seen this before, but he's great about finding just these really, really cool niche devices that, we're probably not going to sell 10,000 of these, but there's going to be a customer who's like, gee, I'd really like to have a digital rollaway whiteboard. And I can say now, hey, have I got a solution for you? He also snapped a couple of pictures of this Logi device, which is a tap scheduler, join the meeting. I think it's running their native technology. I could be wrong. I don't see it a lot since we spend so much time in Teams. But what's interesting here is, let's look at the backside. This is actually a fully functional, Windows robust MTR device, right? This is more than just more than just a remote scheduler connected PoE or USB-C back to a head unit. This is the unit itself. And so one of the things we take a lot of pride on is actually doing great design, from the things we do to having great partnerships with display and furniture and interior designers to make these rooms look really sharp. I spent a large portion of my career at Microsoft going into conference rooms 5 minutes before the meeting started and putting all the cables away, right? Getting them back under the table, putting away HDMI connectors, getting all of it to look at least semi-decent. Got a weird proclivity there. Sorry. I am who I am. We focus here at Apex on giving you that experience from the beginning. Hidden cables, flush mounts, neat and tidy environments for you to work in. And so, seeing the innovation in that space is very, very cool for us. I also want to talk about our friends at Jabra. We do a lot of work with the Panicast line of video tools, and I just wanted to call out how they use some of their great audio devices. I know I go back to Plantronics and the original Puck as being the world's greatest speakerphone of its day. I had a great arrangement with those folks that every time I would go out and visit a partner or a customer and they'd be like, that thing's cool, I could give it to them as a seed device, and then I would just come back to the office and request a new one for myself. So I think they generated a lot of business from me traveling around the country. But pairing these devices with the Panicast video is a great way to video and voice enable conference rooms and even some in kind of personal spaces, giving more of a meeting feel. I'm blessed to have this space, which I can permanently set up for not just my work and my meetings, but even doing a little bit of podcasting. And not all of us have that. This is a real easy way to set up a new space for that video and audio. Another one of our great partners is Neat, and I wanted to talk about a couple of their devices. And so, this is their tap scheduler, right, called the Neat Pad. This goes in the meeting room. This goes in the hallway. It supports Teams rooms and is a certified device. It's got that availability indicator. And so this is Teams panels is sort of the category, and then different vendors have sort of different takes on the devices in these spaces. And so, we rep a lot of great hardware devices and craft solutions that meet each and every customer's needs. So that's sort of Neat's offering in this space. They also have the Neat board, and this is where they really made their name, right? This is Not to pick on Surface Hub, but this is, Surface Hub for the rest of us. A little bit less expensive, a lot of the same great capability. I'm a whiteboard, I'm a Teams Rooms device. I can do the coordinated join, or I can be the full-on room device if that's what you're looking for. We can mount it on the wall. We can mount it on a floor stand that you can move around. And this device is really what was the splash when Neat came into the market. If you ask me, though, the coolest device they have is this guy, which is the Neat Frame. So this is kind of an all-in-one, optimized for Teams, kind of personal device, but I could see other uses for it. And especially as you guys look at it, it's like part Teams Room, part Ring doorbell, part phone, and part, collaboration and productivity device. They're very cool. And we've had customers in very specific situations find these devices super, super useful, right? I don't think you're going to put this 16-inch device in a conference room necessarily, but I'm sure some of you are sitting here thinking about small rooms, execs traveling, desks that are shared amongst many people. You've got really interesting use cases when it comes to the Neat Frame. Speaking of Surface Hub is still a great device in this space. Microsoft did some amazing engineering on this latest version of the Surface Hub. We have a number of these getting deployed right now, a whole bunch more on order for some great customers, and they are an amazing device. Rumor has it that we have one. I think the CEO may have absconded with it for a bit, and so it's a popular device. It's a very popular device in our organization. And really brings, like that Neat board, brings the whole, is it a meeting? Is it collaboration? What are we actually going to do, right? So 50-inch version, 85-inch version, that thing's a gem. And it is a wonderful device. It is more expensive than the Neat board, especially in that 85-inch configuration, but the capability is there. It looks beautiful. And we do a lot of work with Surface Hubs in our world. And here's an example of just doing Teams room meetings, right within the Surface Hub device. Right now we use our older Surface Hub as a whiteboard and a join device. This next generation, you can do that, or you can host the meeting itself and do the collaboration right on it. The last thing I wanted to talk about is signature rooms. So this is a bit about taking, specific experiences, much more immersive, much more front row, a high level of focus on design and video and audio integration to make for a signature experience. It has certain sort of requirements when it comes to, hey, this is a signature experience. And we've moved heavily into this space. We've got some exciting announcements coming up. I won't wreck anything for our marketing team as to how they've orchestrated the announcements to the market. But just know that this is something that we're working hard on. And we sort of see, remember, I live in Minnesota. It's very close to Canada. We see where the puck is going, right? We see that, the first iteration of this, like I mentioned, Cisco and HP, it was all fancy rooms, right? Well, now we took a different approach over the last few years, which is let's get the basics nailed. And now we're fancy room ready, if I can coin a term. And so we're doing a lot of work in this space, excited to bring these to market and bring these to our customers. front room displays that are wide. They're 21 by 9. We have a great partner in this space, Jupiter, that is helping us come to market with something that is ready to go for our customers. Cameras need to be mounted at eye level, Surface Hubs or other whiteboard devices to encourage collaboration. There's really a set of platform level solution and platform level capability that really needs to be in these signature rooms. And they're super exciting, and you're going to be seeing more and more of them very, very soon. So let us help you with all of these decisions and with all of these different capabilities in your world. We've been doing this for almost 25 years. Pretty soon I get to say that. We've helped hundreds of customers with hundreds, if not thousands of projects. We have a tight relationship with Microsoft. They're ending their fiscal year right now. And so that's part of the reason we're, I'm breaking the fourth wall. Part of the reason we're pre-recording this is that it's craziness around here with the end of the fiscal year and the July 4th holiday. And so we've carved out some time just a day early to do our Fridays with Steve. So it's secretly Thursdays with Steve. But we'd love to help you, whether you're an existing customer or whether you're a customer that's never worked with us before. Let us know. Reach out to me directly, sthompson@apexdigital.com. Work with your account exec or reach out to sales. We've got assets and information on our website sort of detailing a lot of these things. If you'd like a copy of the slides, let me know. Or if you see a specific capability, the scheduling panel on the outside of the room, the scribe or the neat frame, if just one of those devices sort of has caught your eye, let me know. I'd love to talk to you about it. Love to help you figure out where they fit in your organization, where they fit in your strategy for great hybrid meetings. So that's it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.